In this video, we're going to find the x and y intercepts of a transformed graph. The figure shows a graph of y equals f of x. If g of x equals f of 6x, what are the x-intercepts and y-intercept of the graph of y equals g of x? If you recall, when a function becomes y equal f of kx, where k is greater than 1, the graph is reduced to 1/k of the original along the x-axis. That means if g of x is equal to f of 6x, the graph should be reduced to 1/6 of the original along the x-axis. If you can't recall the above and are not sure if the graph of the new function is enlarged or reduced, try to think in the following way. We know that g of x is equal to f of 6x. That means for a given x we put into function g, we would get the same value from function f by putting 6 times of that x into function f. Putting it in the other way, for 1/6 of a certain x we put into g of x, the same value would be result if we put that x into function f. Graphically, for every point on the graph of y equals g of x, the y-coordinate will remain unchanged when the x-coordinate is 1/6 of the original. The graph will look as if it's squished towards the y-axis. So, after the transformation, the x-intercepts are 1/6 of the originals. That means the required x-intercepts are 1/6 times -6 and 1/6 times 12. That is, -1 and 2 respectively. For the y-intercept, we already know that f of 0 is -8. f of 6 times 0 is still f of 0, so g of 0 is still -8. If it's still too abstract, you may also try the following method. From the original figure, we know that f of -6 is equal to 0, f of 12 is equal to 0, and f of 0 is equal to -8. Let's set up a table in relation to these values. Let's have x and g of x, which equals f of 6x. We know that f of -6 is equal to 0. As g of x is equal to f of 6x, g of what would be equal to f of -6? Yes, g of -1. g of -1 equals f of 6 times -1. That is f of -6, and it will be equal to 0. Similarly, g of what would be equal to f of 12? Yes, g of 2. g of 2 equals f of 12, and it is equal to 0. Finally, g of 0 equals f of 6 times 0, that is f of 0, so it also equals -8. We can draw these 3 points, -1, 0, 2, 0, and 0, -8 on the graph to get a sense of what this graph looks like. The required x-intercepts are -1 and 2. The required y-intercept is -8. In all, when we multiply a value greater than 1 to the x of a function, everything seems to happen a little faster than before, so the graph will appear to be compressed in the horizontal direction. That's it.